Here we go. This is our second video on Adobe XD, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to use the prototype function of Adobe XD. This is for when, we've already talked about how you can do your wireframes and how I want you to do your wireframes on Adobe XD and then, screenshot them and add them to your final PDF that you will submit in the final project. But also, I want you to start thinking about the prototyping side of it when you are working with a more finished website. So here we have the website that I worked on the last example, and I made a page for this flower work. So I'm going to rename that page into, flower work. Maybe I can make another page called, let's see. Let's just make another web page that's blank, and we'll rename it contact page, right? So I want most of this to be the same, so I'm gonna copy that and paste it, and it's gonna paste in place, which is awesome. I also can't forget the background, and so I'm gonna do that, but I need to send it to the back, so that's in the background. And then this is going to be my contact page. And then maybe I have some, some different options here for people to contact me. Maybe I want to design a little box in which they can write things for me. And I'll round the corners here. You can see that happening on the bottom right. And let me zoom in. There we go. And then I can have a little button at the bottom that might say send, right? Zoom out. Okay, so I have 3 pages here that I can now connect. Okay, so this is the cool thing about XD. I'm gonna turn off my grid so that I can see my elements that I have on the page, and then I'm going to click onto the prototype. Okay, so this is the home page. That doesn't need to do anything. And you see how I click on this, there are arrows. So through these arrows is how you're going to prototype it. So I'm going to make sure that the brand, it's always linked to the home page, right? So I can just click on brand and drag to the home page. You can change how that is done. If it just goes back, scrolls back, what it does, and you can also select the destination, all of that there. Maybe I want to make these 2 things fixed position when scrolling, and I'll show you what that looks like once we get to play around. So if people click on these 2, I want them to go to this page, right? Because that's the title, that's the image, so that will send them to that work. And let's say if people click here, they go to my contact page. Same with the home page. If they click here, they go to my contact page. My brand is doing things, going home. And I created some integration between the pages. So let's see what that looks like. So if I click on the play button, I can scroll down, and that is fixed, that in the background, right? So go back, and you can see that I'm going on to the different pages. So there's something wrong about the scroll there. I don't necessarily like that, so I need to fix it. So this has a fixed position. This has a fixed position. Those don't, so I need to do that. Let's see what that looks like now. Okay, but then everything is kind of scrolling over it. So let's see, maybe if I do this and bring them to the front, let's see what that looks like. So there you go. It's because the layers were inverted, but now that I put them in the right position, that's over it. And then if people just keep scrolling through my website, they still have access to my contact page as well as whatever navigation I have. So this You can also record it if you're on a Mac and record how people are using it. It's a great way to test how your website's looking. And this is what I want you to do, because once you do this relationship, you can share your prototype. And that's the cool part. You click share, then you're gonna have some links there, and anyone with the link can access, design view, presentation view, user testing. You can do all sorts of options. I clicked user testing. Let's see what that does. So now I have a link, but if I click on it, people will be taken to my website and they can click on things and see what happens and what doesn't and all that fun stuff. Now anyone can have access to that. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to create a relationship once you're done with your prototype. That would be for the final part of project 1, part 1, and create a link. I want to have a link to your prototype to see how your pages interact, and that will be part of your evaluation. Okay. Also, I wanted to talk about some plugins. So Adobe XD has these different options right at the bottom, right? We already looked at assets and how to have access to your Creative Cloud libraries, as well as looking at your layers. It shows the different artboards, and within those, the different elements there are in it. And there's also this other button here called plugins. So third-party developers make certain tools that you can add into your XD to help you with collaboration, development, assets, and things like that. So I'm going to show you some of the plugins that I like that make life easier. Of course, this first one is called Icons for Design. So I'm going to say I want a coffee icon, and if I click on it, it's going to add a coffee icon to the artboard that's selected. Of course, I'm not sure if you have access to, if you can use them for your personal. You can use them for your personal, but I don't think you can use them for professional. All right, but I always recommend create your own icons, create your own assets, but these are great placeholders, right? Maybe I want an envelope icon to say that people can contact me, right? Just make sure that I click on it, and then people know that if they type there, they can email me. So these are great placeholders. I would say create your own. Don't rely on these for your final. I will know. Things need to match your branding. These may not match your branding because they weren't developed by you. But this is a great plugin for placeholders. Another one that I like is Stark, because if you select certain things, you can do a check contrast. It can only check contrast between flat colors, but it's already helpful because it says that, okay, we have a good enough contrast, people can read it, it's easy on the eye, and you can also simulate color blindness. But since I didn't put any colors here, let's see with the image what that would look like. You can do the different types of color blindness that happen and what the colors would look like, and maybe how you can improve so that they are more true to color, or so that people can have access to your work. It's all about accessibility. Also, if you are developing either your persona or even just let's say you're developing the new Facebook and you need a user, you can use the plugin called UI Faces. All they need for it is that you have a shape selected. So let's say this square here is where I want a face. You can select where you want pictures from. I highly recommend this person does not exist, and I'll explain a little bit about that. So you can click select photos, and you can select one photo to fill out that random square, right? Maybe, oh, I don't want that, I want that face. So I click apply and that photo is there automatically. You can also select different elements and apply randomly so that you don't have to do the selection of faces, just random faces selected. I didn't select any origin, so there you go. It's doing its thing. There you go, you know, it added 2 random pictures. So why I like the website, this person does not exist, it's because it's thispersondoesnotexist.com is developed by NVIDIA. They develop graphics cards for computers. So this is a project that they did to develop pictures of people that are artificially generated. So these are all AI images. So every time you reload this page, it's pictures of people that do not exist. These are all AI generated and they look like regular people. Sometimes there are some mistakes on photos, as you can see here, but the person itself looks really nice. And the great thing about that is that, you know, if you were to develop a user, you don't want that face to be recognizable, you know, you want it to be someone who is random. And in this case, it's great because these people don't exist, they're not real, they're all AI generated, and that's the crazy part. The great thing is that you can use these photos either commercially or personally because they are under the Creative Commons license. Okay, they also have art, cats, horses. That's crazy, that's awesome. Random, very weird. So they're developing other other types of AI imagery. So that's kind of neat. Okay, so that's why I like this website, because I know that you can have access to those assets for free. Okay, I hope that helps with the development of your prototype. I want to see that prototype, you know, under the share. I want to see that link in your final process and your final project. Let me know if you have any questions and how you're doing. Remember to take a break every once in a while. It's important that you take care of yourself, okay? All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.